This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Thursday, August 29th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so first thing on our list for this morning is BBY. Unfortunately, I read the earnings by accident, and apparently because of the tariffs on China goods, the outlook does not look good for them whatsoever. As we can see, they dropped from about 72 down to our lows of a little bit underneath that 64 level. So coming into 65, we actually had a pretty decent burst coming in at that ask side of things, and then we just got mixed. Unfortunately, you could see 65, we had the bid, and then we just got a mix of ask prints that came in at that 65 level. Now we have a 50,000 share print line there, so we know 65 is going to be important, even though we kind of already knew that, considering 65 being a psychological level. So as of this point, really what we needed to do is we needed to get away from this 65, give us some type of new information so we can really get a definitive direction of where we're going to be looking for this to go, because once again, we know that there's going to be covering that's coming into this, but I'm just not as happy as I'd like to be with the new selling that we saw coming down towards that 65 level. You can see there's not really that many bigger sell prints that came in, and overall 543,000 shares. It's not like they can't trade if they wanted to, so there's just not really much that's coming in at that level to show us a continuation. And then once again, covering is coming in, but that's once again to be expected. So we need to see either new selling or get away from the 65 and give us a more definitive show of hand. Next thing looking at is OLLY, OLLY. So moving up this morning, you can see it really hasn't given much buying on this move up. You can, jumping up from 56 all the way to 60.50. That's, it's a substantial move, and we're just not really seeing much new buying at all. You can see as we're coming back down, 59, we have some selling, 58, around the 58.50 area, which we're already coming back down. So right here, we have a pretty strong support level at that 58 level. I'd really like to see if we're going to continue on our way back down, because if you look right here, you can see this basically the entire move towards this upside really was on no volume. So it's not shocking at all that we're coming back down. I just need to see some more selling that's coming in around that 58 level to really show us that we're going to come back down where we came from. But overall, for the most part, we've seen mostly selling on those bigger prints as we've been pushing back down towards that where it originally came from. Next thing we're looking at is ANF. So ANF had a beautiful show of hand here at that 15 level. You can see above there as well, we had a pretty ballsy position at 15.10, and then following 15, we have those bid prints that came back in. Now it did pull up just a little bit, 15.25, and I don't expect a huge range out of a stock like this. So I'm not really, I would have liked to see more of a pull up from that many prints coming in at that 15 level. And if you look, it actually hit 15 twice because we had the burst that came in earlier before that those 15.10 prints. But it's already kind of making that move towards that downside. It's not going to be a huge mover, but it's certainly going to have a bigger range than we typically see at that 72. So as of right now, we're going to be expecting that guy at 15 to be making their money. And obviously, we'd like to see some new selling to really be able to bring us back down to that 1450 bid prints. We're going to almost, it will pretty much lock in the fact that we're looking for it to go towards this double bottom from originally this morning when it came back down all the way towards that 14. Next thing we're looking at is Dollar Tree, DLTR. So coming in here, this is another one where it's a little bit iffy. And the reason being is because we're coming down to that 105 level and we're way far past, but then we got a little bit new selling coming in at that 104, which now we're way far past for us to really focus on anything there. But coming back down and looking, you can see 103. Once we got to this 103 level, so 103 and then obviously 101 that just happened, those two 1900 share prints that came back in are pretty much have been all asks since then. So overall, we're coming back up. I'm going to be expecting it to break past that 103 for this guy over here to start to make their money. 104.25 being the price target, pretty much the easiest most logical spot, not easiest, most logical spot for our price target off of that 103 for that guy to make their money. DBDJ didn't know there were $100 stock. Let's see, DBDJ, DBDJ. Yeah, not getting anything. Not sure. So other than that, I have one other side list stock, which is going to, I think is, DTL, Dollar Tree. DLTR. Okay, yeah. And then one other side of the stock, NTNX. So NTNX coming in this morning, it's not the greatest thing out there. What we can see, it made a pretty substantial jump. It's up about 22% already, coming into that 24 level. A little bit of buying. It's going to be hit or miss because right now the way that it's kind of trading, we're getting very quantity type movement within it. Once the market opens, hopefully a little bit more volume will start to get that kind of smoother. But overall, it's got a little bit of buying coming up towards that 24 level. 24, obviously, we'd want to see some type of prints to come back in there to really give us something more definitive. But it's not going to be a huge mover. Once again, $104 is its typical range. So 284,000 shares. Usually trades about 3.8 million. So figure we would expect about $1.50 somewhere in that area. But overall, once again, we're going to need to see, we have a little bit of buying coming up towards that 24, but we're going to need to see something at 24 to show us that it's really going to be able to continue. All right, so other than that, guys, I don't really see too much else that's going on out there. I know that we all, although everyday stocks jumped up, it's just this revolving cycle that we are seeing every other day. And other than that, anything else out there that I missed? LCI, let's take a look. LCI, well, yeah, so LCI is going to be on my watch list. I mean, there's nothing really there yet for us to be even looking at. 28,000 shares. Unfortunately, if it had its 15 minutes of fame, we're not going to really see much, but there is definitely buying that's still sitting up around that 850. So like I said, I will definitely be keeping it and looking at it this morning. There's just unfortunately not really anything going on there yet. And then SQ has some latent ass prints, 66 and 67. Latent ask prints at 66. And SQ? Okay, so we're obviously talking about from a previous time. Okay, so keep an eye on it from the last couple of days. Yeah, no, that's fine. So just keep an eye on it. Like I said, all the everyday stocks have, definitely going to make some type of move today. I mean, that's why we call them everyday stocks, but just nothing really too special out there yet. All right, guys. So anything else out there that I missed? I do not think that is going to, I don't think that's the case, but not a bad list for Thursday. Thursday isn't typically our best trading day out there. And then you bring into the fact that we're going into Labor Day and you have two, there's just, that's pretty much it. So ACRI. So the reason I didn't put ARCI on our list is because I'm just not really. See, the variables that it has right now, it's sitting and it's in a consolidation, but it doesn't really have that movement from that bottom side. And that's really what I kind of look at, almost just to be able to hold into this consolidation. So I'm not a huge fan, especially with the fact, too, that there's just no buying up near its highs, which makes it almost impossible because if we don't have any buying up at its highs and it's back down, there's nothing for it to really, trigger up towards. And that's really why I didn't like this. But it definitely, it's worth a side list stock. But like I said, even if it does trigger once the market opens, I don't see anything there that I could be looking for to actually be triggering up towards. All right, guys. So let's get ready for our morning, and I will talk to everyone in the chat. Happy trading.